No.
We'll give you
not have to say
any state.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'm going to do roll call. McIntyre,
Absent.
absent. Freddie, absent. Kabansky,
Here.
Daniil,
Here.
Brous,
Here.
Makosi,
Here.
Longo.
Testing, one,
I'm
two,
here.
can you hear me?
Obviously, I'm here, I'm talking. Okay,
Hello, okay.
okay. Want to have someone make a motion to accept the minute?
Make a motion, we approve the minutes from the board meeting.
Don't get into it, yeah, we did.
Second.
Yes,
We
you
already took
can.
it. Yeah.
Okay.
Second?
It is
I
a
did. I
regular
said
board
it.
meeting until
Yeah.
you waive Robert's rules.
Okay,
I can disagree, but that's okay.
okay.
I'm not gonna make a big deal.
I'm going to have someone make a motion to waive Robert's rules?
Make a motion to waive Robert's rules.
I'll second.
Okay. Okay. Let's start with you, Pam.
I have nothing at this time.
Me?
Go ahead.
Yeah. I want to bring up the continuing the ponds. I know number 8 is almost completed, and I think Chris has some estimates on the other ponds, and I'd like to bring up the fact that we should start thinking about getting Pond 25, near Building 25, Pond 1 and Pond 2 done, and we should start thinking about having a special assessment probably around March so that we can get them done next year.
I think it's a good idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We still got Pond 3 that has to be done, too. You know, so
Yes, I
that's gonna
know,
be a big one.
but that's going to be a big one.
So Lorraine asked me to ask the company that's doing it right now to get prices for Pond 1, the small pond on 2, and it costs 25, which they already gave, to see if we could do all 3 of those at one time. Of course, this is so preliminary. It came in at approximately $320,000, but we do have approximately $42,000 left from the original special assessment, which gives us about a $278,000 special assessment, but that would be to do Pond 25, Pond 1, and Pond 2 all at the same time. Get them all done, and then the only thing left would be, like Ron said, would be Pond 3, which is the big one.
The big one.
So, just so you guys have an idea of what we're looking at. Obviously, like Lorraine said, it wouldn't be a special assessment until sometime next year, early in the year, so that we could get the money and get it done once golf season ends, I would assume.
Right. That's my thinking.
I mean, I have talked to the previous contractor. I'm going to try to get him back to see whether we can get a bid from him anyway.
Oh,
So we've
okay.
got another idea, but I mean, we'll see what happens. Because I told him we got to have some kind of an estimate so we can figure out what we got to charge with special
Right.
assessments.
Right.
We'll try it.
But
I'll keep
just-
trying.
Just based on that 278,000 figure, Chris, what
Yes.
would you say the
So looks,
ballpark special assessment would be?
you're looking at like 575, 500, and 440, depending on the unit size.
Okay.
I'm all set. I don't have anything. Do you have anything, Vic?
Yeah, the budget. That's what this whole meeting's about.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we got comments there.
I want to make a recommendation to the board to approve for vote at the board meeting on the 29th to approve the budget that,
I can't hear you either.
you're old then. I want to make a recommendation to the board that the board accept the budget as approved by the Budget Committee at our board meeting on November 29th. And the letter has, is that letter went out yet, Chris?
No, we had to wait for this meeting.
This meeting.
The letter is here. You've got a cover letter, explaining what's going on. Then you have the agenda for the actual meeting, and then you will have the proposed 2023 budget and the reserve requirement.
Okay.
That'll be going to the printers as soon as you guys say, yes, we accept it.
A
I
lot of
see.
people already have heard what's happening. Let me see a cover letter, Chris. The budget's going up significantly. Main reason is painting of the, well, there's 3 items here. You have to bear with me. I didn't bring my cheaters with me. It's going up about $400,000. 149,000, I'm sorry, it's due to property and liability insurance. 96,000 for the cable and internet, now that we're going to be getting internet effective July the 1st. And the reserve accounts went up about 106,000. What that will do to our maintenance, the 2 2s will be $626. The 2 1s and the 1 1.5s will be $563, and the 1 1s will be $501. And this will be going to the board at the board meeting on November 29th for final approval. You can't see either?
I can't,
take mine
I
off.
can't, I can't write the minutes.
I gotta take mine off to see.
It went up quite a bit. It just, a lot of things we have no control over. And what I'm going to try to do when I get back from the holidays, beginning of January, have a meeting here in the clubhouse. It'll be in the evening, most likely, to try to explain the whole budget so people understand the problem we had putting it together and what is controllable and what is uncontrollable. I believe I'm safe in saying maybe 80% of the budget. Hang on.
I'm on silence too.
It doesn't make any difference.
For everybody on
It's
YouTube,
alert.
it's a
That's
hurricane warning that's coming this way.
Unless you got it off, it's not going to change it.
Okay.
It'll stop.
A lot of the budget is uncontrollable contracts. It's a lot of items that have to be done, so we're going to try to explain in depth beginning in January.
All right, so we have a hurricane warning, so we will close any shutters upstairs only, on the lanais. Yep, okay, bye.
We stack all this on here.
I'm gonna wait till tomorrow.
Oh, that's what I mean. but-
Yeah, we took down the umbrellas and stuff like that, and the flags and all that kind of stuff, but,
See what happens.
yeah.
Do you have, since you guys are talking about it, do you have any suggestions that we can tell
Run,
everybody?
run. Get in your cars and drive north to New York, Minnesota, Pennsylvania.
It's headed that way.
Because there's a hurricane coming. Go.
Go.
No, not me. Vic brought it up. Okay, so, all right, obviously, everybody, we just got a hurricane warning. We have been getting calls all morning for us to come and close shutters on downstairs units. We do not close shutters on downstairs units. The only shutters we will be calling is what I just called Grace, is upstairs on lanais. Second story, lanai shutters only is the only thing we will be closing. We are not an assisted living. So if you want your shutters closed and you can't do it, call your neighbor. We right now just picked up as much debris as we can. We're taking down all the umbrellas, the flags, things like that that can blow. It is only going to be a Category 1 when it hits. Gusts maybe of 50 miles an hour. We're not taking the canopy down, and we'll worry about like the pool furniture and things like that tomorrow. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes
Sounds
sense.
good.
Sounds good.
Good plan.
Does anybody out there have anything that they want to inject into this, or?
You're right.
Doesn't mean you can still inject if you want to. You can still say stuff if you want to, anything that we're talking about.
Okay, so the
the increase that we're going to be getting every month due to the cable and the other things you mentioned, that's going to be forever. Would it be possible to have another special assessment? And I know even if it's a lot, you know, and maybe in 2 payments of special assessments to cover this so that we don't go up to $600 and more dollars a month?
Okay, so here's the problem with how the state makes us do budgets. If it is a reoccurring bill, a constant bill, a monthly bill, a yearly bill, it cannot be paid by special assessment. It has to be incorporated into your monthly payment, exactly. Only special things like the ponds can be a special assessment. You could do a one-time thing if we were short, let's say, on insurance, but you cannot do those type of payments on a special assessment basis. Yeah. And if I can just elaborate just a little bit, I don't remember if Vic had said it, but the insurance alone, our insurance was $593,000 for this year. It's going up to $712,000. Okay? We have absolutely no control over it. There's nothing we can do.
No.
Wait. Yep.
Do you move the recycling cans for the hurricanes?
We'll see tomorrow. What we used to do is put them in the laundry rooms. The problem is we've got an additional 30 bins, so I don't know if they're going to fit inside the laundry rooms anymore. What we have done in the past is tied them all together and like tied them to a tree. But again, we're going to see what's coming. Because now the latest thing, even though we're under a warning, I was just looking at it and it doesn't say until Thursday at 12 in the afternoon. So we've got time to worry to see what we're going to actually get hit with. If it's an hour south of here or an hour north of here, probably won't move the recycling bins. But we'll wait to see for tomorrow.
Laying them down wouldn't help, would it?
What's that, Al?
Laying them down wouldn't help, would it?
No,
No?
because the lids still blow open and, yeah.
Can we do special assessment for the insurance?
No,
Why not?
because it's a reoccurring.
Wait a minute. We will be self-insured. If we special assessment to every homeowners here, couple $1,000, and I understand it's a lot of money. Hang on.
Yep, yep.
Okay? We could do it for some people, monthly payment. We will have over $2 million in the bank. We could self-insure the condos, our property, within 4 years. Matter of fact, now, after what you just said,
Yep.
in 3 years, we save. We made money. I know it's a steep thing, couple $1,000 each homeowner, but guess what? Self-insure works.
Okay.
I've done it, and it works. And I know a lot of big companies, they've done it.
Okay,
Thank
so we've looked into we have looked into self-insurance numerous times. So the industry says if you're going to self-insure, you need to have at least 10% of what your property is worth. So with the last appraisal we got was $46 million. So we would need $4.6 million in the bank. So let's say we take 4 years to get there and a hurricane hits next year. What do we do?
What's the record for the last 52 years? I know that.
Cape Coral has not been hit with a hurricane in 37 years. They have $1 billion worth of damage on the West Coast. I totally, that's up to you guys if you want to do it. I mean, it is going to cost us a lot of money. We're paying $712,000. But again, you guys have to know, if you self-insure and we do a special assessment for $4 million, that's $20,000 a unit.
Wow.
20 times 5, right, is 40. So $20,000 special assessment. You can't break it over years because you need to have that immediately in case there's a storm. I don't think you convince anyone here to give 20,000. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you need 4 at least. That's what they say. Yeah, that's the industry standard, is they say if you're gonna self-insure, you better have 10% of what your property is worth.
But can it be done with $2 million? You said.
I wouldn't recommend it, only because if we, figure this, what do we do? 3 years ago, what hurricane was it? Ian? No. Irma? Irma? Okay, so Irma. We had 11 roofs that needed to be replaced. That was $467,000 from the insurance company and our $20,000 per building deductible. So that was $600,000 we spent just 3 years ago. So if you only have $2 million in the bank, you just spent almost half of that on one storm.
But then you have $800,000 that you don't pay to the insurance. So you gotta remember.
So you're going to do a $20,000 special assessment and then still keep collecting the $700,000 a year and building it?
Go ahead, Jim. Jimmy, go ahead, Jim.
I was wondering on a spin on that. Would it be possible to save up enough money to cover all of the deductible and get the maximum deductible we could for the insurance?
Okay, so
That would be considerably cheaper. and
okay, our deductible was at 2, it went to 3. It most likely is going to the highest, whether we want it to or not, because that's the only way we're going to get insured, and that's going to be 5%. The buildings, the last time they were appraised, came in at about $812,000 each. So let's see, 5% is that's going to be $40,000 special deductible times 51 buildings. That's $2 million. So if you want to raise $2 million to have the deductible put aside for every single building, I mean, that's more feasible, but
Yeah,
that's a lot of money to have in the bank.
No, I just came across somebody that their association, the insurance just came due, 40% increase, okay, take it or leave it, okay?
Right.
We're probably looking at least 30% next year.
Yes.
Chris, when are the buildings due to be reappraised?
They're every 5 years. These were reappraised just 2 years ago. So I think we still have about 3 years left, but that's going to depend on the insurance companies. They might come in and say, you gotta appraise them every other year. It's in their hands. We have absolutely no control over it.
Anybody else? Okay. Can we go to what Jim was talking about there, Chris?
Okay, so this is, all right, so the association has got, right now we have what we had set up in a little bit of like what Sam was saying. We have what we call an escrow, an insurance escrow account, where the board years ago, the insurance was $480,000 a year, and the board voted to have an additional 15% in the bank as an escrow account to cover emergency repairs and a couple of deductibles. So we were talking about it at the budget meeting that we feel we should increase it because it's 15% of the $480,000. That we should increase it to 15% of whatever the insurance is. So if the insurance is $700,000, we want 15% of the $700,000 as our little emergency fund. I think there's also another one in here for setting up a 5% for all the other insurance. So I just was given these now, so I haven't really had time to read them, but it's not something that you guys can vote on now anyway.
No,
It's not, this would be to the next meeting.
Next meeting.
I would say that you should add this to next meeting's agenda, because there's 3 resolutions that are being proposed. Yes?
Okay, yes.
Okay.
Yep. One of the things I wanted to say with these insurance companies, you've got a lot of these insurance companies that are bailing right out of the state. We could end up with Citizens next year, and that's gonna hurt us, you know.
a choice, we don't have a choice.
No, you don't have a you don't have a choice. You got to insure the place, so. I mean, these buildings, replacement costs that they have right now, Chris, about $900,000.
I think the last one came in at like $812,000.
I mean, we lose 2 buildings, Sam, we're done. You know, I mean, that's the problem. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. A tornado comes through here, we're done, you know? It's the same thing, it's just going to wipe everything out.
Right. Okay,
I got a couple things in when you get a chance.
me too.
You want me to go?
Go ahead, Bob, yeah.
All right, just, can everybody hear me there? I have the mask on for precautionary measures. I'm in day 10. They said after 5 days, they recommend if you're inside to have the mask on. Outside, after 5 days, you do not have to. So this is my 10th day, so it could go on or off, but I figured I'd keep it on anyway for the heck of it. But outside, you don't have to do it. And fortunately, my wife and I had colds worse than what we had. We didn't have a fever, didn't have headaches or anything, so it was a real slight case, so I feel 100% the first, second day, but just for precautionary. Okay, back to business there is that, I know when we came back, we saw all on Thursday, all the garbage and everything, mattresses, all sorts of stuff throughout the whole complex. And we discussed it with Chris and so forth, and we want to know if it was feasible, and it is, I believe, and this will be at the next meeting, we can vote on it,
Put it
is
on
on
the agenda.
Thursdays, when you have the bulk mailing, because it's getting out of hand, you have to fill out a form to bring to the office to say that so-and-so wants to pick up 2 chairs or whatever it may be. So they have a record of it. So every Thursday, or the Thursday where they pick up, they'll look at the record and they'll see Lorraine Thorneal has 3 chairs going out. We know we'll pick them up. They're not over 50 pounds, so they won't charge her. However, if Lorraine puts those out there and doesn't have it on file, it will not be taken because it's getting out of hand. People are throwing all sorts of stuff out there, mattresses, doors, all sorts of stuff. And our guys are picking this up on our dime and dumping it into the dumping fees and so forth, and it's getting out of hand. So we came up with some idea. We can bring it up at the next meeting if we want to vote on it and pass this through. But that was it. That's in a nutshell what it is. Anybody any questions on that? Okay.
One of the things I wanted to say, any construction debris, whether you do it or the contractor does it, you're responsible to get rid of it. Okay, construction debris. I mean, anything that can be broken down and put into our compactors, we'll usually take if it's not over 50 pounds. If it's anything big, you're going to get charged for it.
Yeah, but you still have to have that form filled
You got
out.
to fill the form out. Yeah.
Otherwise, they're not going to take it. Okay?
It was my understanding that if it was large, but not over 50 pounds, it was still, there still could be a fee. Is that correct?
If it's something that we can't break down and put into the compactor, yes.
Yeah.
That's the way we're looking at it.
Okay, that's, I
In other
want
words, if you've got,
clarification.
one of those PVC chairs that can be broken apart, it's not a big deal. But I mean, if it's a recliner, you can't do that. It's something we can't do.
And something that we just picked up, I'm sorry, well, we picked up some doors. Now, there's maybe 3 of them. Well, they don't weigh 50 pounds, but they have to go to the dump.
Yeah.
That, you're gonna get charged for them. If we have to take it to the dump, you're getting charged for them.
Right, I just
mean,
wanted that clarification.
Everyone in here is going to get charged for something somebody else puts out. So if you see somebody putting something out, you need to turn it into the office so we know, because we don't know who's putting this stuff out. If somebody sees it, you got to turn it in. Nobody's name's going to be mentioned. Go ahead, Kath.
That was my question.
Okay.
What are we doing to these people that put the stuff out before the 3rd Thursday? I mean,
The problem is we don't know who it is. If we don't know who it is,
do we need
what are
to
you gonna
knock
do?
on doors and see?
Yeah, who's
I
going to
mean,
admit to it?
Tipping fees are unbelievable. The
Yeah, I did it.
tipping fees are unbelievable. And
No,
let me
they are.
tell you something, it's costing every one of us.
It is. Yes, you are. You're right.
If you see something, say something.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Those that do, thank you. Those that don't, please do.
I got one other thing. I was just wondering how this form is working out. That incident form that we initiated back when?
We are being inundated with none.
Oh, so everything's going perfect then?
So apparently, yes, we have not received one single incident report since we put it up.
Okay, that's good.
We
Everybody knows-
started a new page for like infractions or, you see a dog being walked, you don't know who it is, something like that. And we initiated that 8 months ago, and we haven't received one. They're up there where the work orders are, and
Oh, that's good.
yeah.
Everything's running.
There's no infractions. Everybody is doing everything the way they're supposed to.
That's wonderful.
Very good.
Thank you all.
That's it.
But does everybody know that? That's right, a lot of people don't know that.
If you look at any of the meetings, if you look at Channel 63, if you read the chip shots, I think it's been in all of those things.
Sorry. I come to all the meetings, okay? I watch them on 63 if I'm not here. I didn't know anything about this
You
form.
remember that green thing we showed
No,
up to everybody?
I do not
that was a
remember
while
that.
ago.
Yeah, at least 8 months ago.
Yeah.
I don't remember it. None of
Yep.
us sitting right here, none of us remember this. So maybe it,
Maybe
maybe,
we
yeah,
need to
good
reiterate a
refresher.
few times.
Yeah, maybe.
Get it in the next December chip shot.
Yes.
You got it.
Just a reminder.
Do we want to put it on 63, Chris?
I can put it on 63.
Put it on
again.
63.
We can put it on 63 again.
I mean,
The website?
yeah, I wouldn't run it that long, but I'd put it on there and let people know. I mean,
Yeah, and we can do it again for.
I mean,
do it
there's,
for a
we got
week.
rules and regulations. A lot of people don't know what they are, so, because they don't read the rules and regulations, so it doesn't make any difference anyway, but. Yeah, fine. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, but people got to fill these
You
things
have to.
out, Sam. The problem is how many times it happens where somebody comes to me and says of a problem, or use the word dog incident, for example. Somebody said, oh, there's a dog barking, barking, barking. I said, well, when, what time did you report it to the office? No. Okay, bingo. The next time, what happens? Same thing, did you report it? No. Bingo, that's it. Then somebody else reports it, now it's the first time, even though the guy did 3 violations instead of 3. Okay, you got 1. And so that's the problem, is that not people in here, but the whole community, it seems to me, that doesn't want to say anything about something. And we have to do that if we want to correct situations on it, I'm not saying go out there like a Gestapo, but see, if you see something wrong, most of the time, you mention it to a person, and they take care of it.
Right.
But
I understand, but nobody, very few people follow rules. You guys have basically 3 warnings. This is bull. Should not be 3 warnings. Should be 1 warning. We all adults here, okay? If I break a rule, the second time they should fine me. No second chances, okay? And you know what everybody says? I get a letter. Who gives a shit? Okay? You saying about the garbage? That's one of them. Parking vehicles, another one. I could go on and on and on and on. The only way you guys are going to resolve this problem when you hit somebody's pocketbook. Okay? And that's the way I feel.
Right.
And if I broken any rules, Chris, you know, with my motorcycle, I'm guilty. But damn it, 100% here, they break the rules. And another thing now that I have to say something else, which I hope everybody understands, and if they don't, they don't. Should be one set of rules for everybody. I pay my maintenance 12 months out of the year, okay? And 12 months out of the year, they get my check, okay? I don't use what the full-timers use. I strongly feel that we have to set 2 and 3 set of rules here. Summer people, and they call it the snowbirds, or now they change it, basically.
Seasonal.
Seasonal.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm okay with that. I am a snowbird, but I'm blessed that I could afford 2 homes, okay? But I should not be punished, okay? And people that live here all year round, they should follow the rules all year round, okay? Social activity is one of them. The only one that makes money here, it's when the snowbirds come back. What happened with the what happened with the full-timers? Why can the full-timer have social activity here all summer long? I know the answer. They don't have that many people. That's the excuse that I get. But guess what? I don't care if they got 20 of them. They could still have a plus. It doesn't matter if they make $10 for a party profit, but don't wait for the snowbirds, okay? The same thing will work. Besides Peg O'Keefe, nobody does any work here in the summertime, okay?
Oh, Sam, come on.
Who said it?
Pam did.
Okay, so the state is the one who tells us how we are able to fine, and that's who sets it up, that you have to give them the certain amount of warnings before you're allowed to fine. You have to give them a certain amount of time to respond or fix the problem before you can send them another one. This is not a Monterey rule. This is governed by the state of Florida. They are the ones who tell us how you're allowed to fine. And besides that, you have to offer them a meeting with the fining committee so they can tell their side of the story and try to convince the fining committee whether they deserve the fine or not. So it's not just cut and dry that you left garbage out twice, here's your $50 fine. It's not how it works.
Yeah. And we don't know anything about it if it's not turned in either, so, as
That's the
as
key
Bob
issue.
said.
You have to report it. And I keep saying it over and over again. We've had, last year, I think we had 3 people with fines, and every one of them denied it, but they paid the fine. So, like Chris says, you have to go to the proper procedure. What you like to do and what you can do by the law is 2 different things. I agree with you, Sam. Great, you already know that, bingo. But like you say, you got to send them a letter, you got to do this and this and this. You got to follow the Florida state statutes, or the Florida law, unfortunately. But like you say, if people report things, you can build a case on somebody, and you're not going after anybody because the average person is going to be fine with it. Some people, if they're bad apples, which is not many around, will self-destruct sooner or later. But they will. They'll self-destruct. If you're bad, you're bad. But most of the people here are very good. So that's the case on my view. All right.
I got a correspondence from somebody, one of the residents, that wants to put a chairlift at the bottom of the stairs to go to the second floor. I mean, we've gone through this before. It's an egress problem. The fire department will not let us do it. I think, if I'm not mistaken, Chris, we went to an elevator. They said you could do an elevator, which is going to cost you like $24,000 in expense, but I mean, that wouldn't be our expense, even if they put it in. It's something that we've looked at a few different times. This is not the only time that we've looked at putting chairlifts going upstairs. You know, it's something that we can't do. I mean, we can put it on the agenda if you want it, Chris. I mean, no, okay. I mean, it was a done deal before, so I mean, it really makes no sense to discuss it. But I mean, has anybody got any comments on it? No? Anybody on the board?
Yeah, just one, Ron, just to reiterate what you're saying is that we went through this a couple of years ago. The guy with a VA, you know, the Veterans Association came and wanted to put a lift in there, and then they got a hold of the fire marshal and said, wait a minute, you can't, unfortunately, you can't do it because now you're impeding the means of egress for everybody. Correct. So it's a moot point. And the individual that happened to move downstairs because they had no alternative. Correct. Yeah. You know, we're all going to get there sometime, unfortunately. And I feel for everybody like that, but there's certain things we have to do and can't do.
Me too.
I'd say if the fire department says no, don't put it on the agenda.
Yeah, okay.
Something along that line, just curious, as new owners here, how come all the buildings don't have railings going up? Oh, did I open a can of worms? I'm
like
sorry.
new people.
I'm just curious because some buildings seem like they have it maybe on both sides, some on one side. Ours not at all on either side, and I'm just kind of
When the association was originally built, they didn't have any rails on the sides at all, just the rail on the outside. So over the years, boards have allowed individuals or buildings to put an additional rail on if they wanted it. The association does not supply them.
No. So the residents actually put those on?
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead.
unrelated, but we've attended the meetings online and listened several times now about the new garbage containers and the latches on the garbage containers, and we've tried to be really good about making sure that they're latched. One observation I've had is when the trash is picked up, the guys picking up the trash are not relatching. They're just putting the cover down and leaving. So, especially with the storm coming up, I just think that's an observation that I've had.
Definitely, and I actually called Weston, who does the garbage, yesterday when when the storm first hit. I said, go and make sure every single one is latched. So he went around before he left yesterday and did it. But that is definitely something that they are being told. When you guys do it, we're asking the owners to do it. When you pick up the garbage, make sure you clasp that again.
Yeah, you never know when a windstorm is going to come up.
I think most of you on the board know one of my pet peeves is the gate at the pool. Having a pool at home of my own and a fence and trying to keep it safe for all kids and everything. We have a gate. And we have a gate here, and it's on 63. It's supposed to be kept closed. I came back October 4th, and for at least 2 weeks, the gate was never closed. I'd close it, and it would be open again. I feel if there's a rule that it's supposed to be closed, and I would think that we have to have it closed. Every association, every development, every place I've ever been that has a pool resort, the gates are closed, and you need a key or something to get in. And I just don't understand why it's so difficult to keep it closed here.
Yeah, I don't think
I'll address that.
Yeah.
Okay. Martin County Code, Section 454, 454.1.3.1.9. Go read it. The gate is supposed to be closed.
Right.
Okay, it's supposed to be self-locking and self-closing. Right. So everybody knows, keep the gate closed. I'm not going to read the thing, but it doesn't make any difference because we've gone over this time after time after time.
Yep.
Do we need to change the small gate to a self-closing?
The small gate is self-closing.
No, it's not. You have to use
One of
your
the-
key either way.
It doesn't work.
This is still self-closing. It's supposed to be self-locking, self-closing.
Well, this
So
one
it does-
closes and locks by itself.
So does that one if it's working right. But that's another thing I got to go over with Chris today because it's not, the whole latch is shot.
Well, it's also not, well, never mind.
One of the
We'll
problems.
get into that afterwards. I mean, but
Yeah.
One of the problems we have with the gates is we have people with walkers and/or mobility carts or scooters. They can't open or close the gate. That it's a problem for them if.
Yeah, I understand.
Let's take Maryland for
Yep.
example. She has to have a walker, and I'm sure Diane Muller is probably the same way. It's very difficult if you are an individual to try to open that gate, hold the gate open, and get your cart and/or walker through that. I don't know how we can address that.
I don't know. I mean, this is not just our association that's doing this.
I
Every
understand.
association's got the same issue. So, I don't
My
know.
sister-in-law lived up the road.
I mean, I try to help
about-
people out if I can, you know.
My sister-in-law lived up the road about a mile, and her gate, regardless if you were in a walker or whatever, that gate was locked at all times.
Right. Oh, I agree with the
Yeah.
locking part. It's just, there's an issue, and I don't know how we can address that.
Other than yelling for somebody to help them. I mean,
Right.
or somebody's walking in. I
Help.
mean, I've helped people, you know, that have done that. I understand what you're
Doesn't seem to be
saying.
an issue in other communities.
Okay.
Okay,
Is there any way, I mean, I understand there's people with handicaps, but when you go by and see the gate open sometimes before 8 o'clock or whatever, and it's opened all day, somebody tied it open. They use the bricks and everything else. Why can't we install a camera and see who is actually opening it? Because when you fill out a form, that doesn't tell you people who's doing the opening of the gate. With the form, with the dog barking or something, you can pretty much identify it. But when I come up at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock and the gate's open and it's been open since 8, how do I know who tied it open, and nor do you? Is there any problem with using a camera to at least monitor what's going on?
that may be something we'll be able to do when we get hot wire. Maybe we'll be able to put cameras in different locations because it's going to be a better system and we'll be able to add a lot of stuff to it. Yeah. I just wanted, we got a project going back at the deep well. It's a VFD system, virtual frequency drive. We're working on that. It's been going on for 3 years, but we got an issue with FPL I mean, I don't know if anybody's aware of it or not, but that's one of the things that's going on back there. Also, the golf cart garage door is now working downstairs. The button works. It will go, the garage door will go up and down by just pushing the button now, if anybody wants to know. Anybody got anything else?
Sure.
Sure.
So we had the carpets in here cleaned. Most of the spots came out with a little help from two people. But we did get the actual cost for replacing the carpet. You added money into the budget this year to do it, or not do it. We needed to increase that budget line item anyway, but the bid came in at $8,400. Is this something you want to add to the agenda or not?
I'd like to see that, I'd like to have a copy of that quote.
Yeah, oh, no, yeah, that's no problem. But is it something, do you even want to look at it this time, or you want to wait till January? Because we won't actually have the money till January anyway.
Let's wait till January.
So add for
Yeah.
January, okay. I'll get
Not
all
only-
of you a copy though if you want.
Yeah.
Not only that, let's see what kind of options we have too, you know? I mean,
Yes. Yes, this is only carpet, right.
How's it look?
Yeah,
Look
but
good?
sometimes it looks good, but then
We have to wait a couple
month,
weeks.
It's
Yeah.
back to where it was.
And I got, oh, I'm sorry.
Peg?
Termites, probably another subject nobody wants to talk
Oh.
about, but we've submitted 2 requests for like spot treatments. We were told that before they went in our unit, we'd be advised somebody was going in. We've not heard anything about it since March when we first submitted it. We've found more since we've been back.
Yep.
I'm just curious, I know there's been talk about having issues with Terminex or whoever the company is.
That's what
Are
it
we
is.
looking into that contract to try to understand what our options are? If we can't get spot treatment, how are we going to be able to tent? Just wondering what the current situation is with Terminex and treating the issues.
That's something we're working on with Terminex right now. It's in the process. I mean, it's, we're working with them.
Yeah.
So has there been no spot treatment since?
Not that there won't, it's just a matter of when. That's what it's gonna come down to.
Correct. I've been emailing back and forth with the manager of Terminex. There's been some kind of discrepancy, and we're trying to get it all worked out. Somebody said, oh, can I just go hire somebody else? No, you can't just go hire somebody else, because we do have this contract in place, and we're trying to enforce it on them. The reason being is we spent a lot of money to have all the buildings treated at one time. So what we basically do is pay like a service agreement every year, and they're supposed to come out and do certain things. Well, they've been kind of backstepping and saying, well, that wasn't part of it, and it's like, no, we have it right here in writing. So we are working diligently on that, because there's at least 10 people that have got them. And yours is one of the buildings that we're trying to get tented on top of that. So that, I think, is what has caused the problem, is because we're going after them to do more tenting, and they really just don't want to do it. So unfortunately, we may be getting lawyers involved and all kinds of good stuff. But we are working on it.
That's something we were discussing this morning, Chris and I.
Yeah.
Hi, 3-part question. The carpeting, $8,400, is that total replacement?
That is this whole room and that level up there where the glass room is. It's not going up the stairs and into the gym or the poker room.
And what kind of replacement would that be?
I don't know if this is going to make any sense. Lock work, carpet, tile, pressure, spread, I don't know. A broad loom, multi-purpose.
It's a carpet tile.
So it's a carpet tile.
It's a
It's a
carpet
carpet
tile,
tile.
which I have no idea what that is.
So they're individual square tiles?
Oh,
Yes.
oh, they're actually little square.
So you can
Yes,
actually
they're not
take
little,
tile out and
they're
replace it
big.
if you want to.
So you could, I guess you could remove one if that one got
Yes,
ruined? You could.
yes.
Oh,
Yes,
that's what it is.
Okay. And the last question, is there any consideration, instead of carpeting, maybe vinyl wood flooring, such as like what's in the library?
It'll get destroyed.
It will?
Oh, yeah. I can
because,
show you a restaurant where it's totally destroyed. I mean, I like the idea, but, I mean, we don't want to put something in there that we're going to have to replace again, 2 years down the road.
This carpet's been here for how many years?
Oh, 15?
15.
15 years, this carpet.
15 years.
I put the vinyl in my kitchen at home, and I've got scratches on it.
I suggest if you do put new carpet in here, that anybody that comes in with a drink, all cups need to be controlled,
Capped,
top on the
capped,
cup, capped.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can
because
enforce that.
Half of the time, it's people spilling.
We're gonna bring you in here, Kath, and we're gonna let you watch everybody that brings a drink in.
Now we do have cameras in this building that actually work. So this we are able to check. The thing is with moving them more outside and stuff is the internet power here, the Wi-Fi just isn't strong enough yet. Once Hotwire's in, the Wi-Fi will be much stronger, and there will actually be stations outside. So putting a camera outside for like the gate will definitely be feasible. But there are cameras in here right now. There's in the lobby, the main room, the kitchen, etc. So I have one more thing
Go
that
ahead.
was given to me.
Yeah.
So I believe the planning committee must have sent out a letter or is going to about the possibility of having a portable pickleball set for the yacht club parking lot. Years ago, we looked into this, but we were doing it on a more permanent type basis where we were going to have netting that could be put up and everything. The people that are requesting it are not requesting that much. It is basically just a portable net that's on stands. It is the lines that's whatever comes. It's a tape that you can actually put down. It's semi-permanent. But they are requesting that they be able to do this, and they want to set it up like a club, like at the kayak, where you would join your pickleball league or whatever, pay a certain amount to help pay for the net, the balls, the wear and tear, whatever. Very inexpensive. There will be no netting to catch the balls, so I'm assuming they're just going to probably have like 30 balls, so if one goes away, you just keep playing and get it when you're done. The biggest thing that I think we need to look into is liability on our part.
Yep.
Okay? So
was
you're
just gonna
playing this
mention
in a parking lot. So if you trip in the park, it's not a nice smooth thing like a tennis court. You trip, you slip on one of the painted lines, and you do a gainer or whatever. That's going to be something with our liability. So this was given to me. I said I would present this. I don't know if they want us to, or you guys to vote on it yet or what, but there it is.
I would say we wait till January, let's discuss it amongst us.
Yeah, we gotta
And
find
figure out what we gotta do and find out a little bit more about it.
liability is.
Right.
Yeah.
It doesn't really.
I mean, it all depends, Jimmy. I mean, that's what we got to find out.
Yeah.
I mean, so we got to look into it. I mean, I'm sure we're responsible for it, but,
Yeah, oh yeah.
without
I
a
mean,
doubt.
even if they sign a waiver, which I'm sure we would make them do, just like the kayak people, I believe they have to sign a waiver using the ramp. But a waiver is not anything that a lawyer can't say too bad.
Doesn't keep you out of court.
That's correct.
Keep the cost a little bit. Instead of $1 billion, we're going to charge $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of, yeah.
Anybody else? Anything at all?
I got something that might help Chris out. Parking seems to be an issue ever since I've come down here. Cars that don't have the blue sticker on the back. Well, then you say, well, I have a car here that doesn't have a sticker on it. And Chris goes and looks at it and has one. There's a second car or a renter, and they have one hanging on their visor.
Right.
A solution might be, and I haven't really talked to Chris too much about this, is use the sticker that we have, but get a different color for renters and people with
Spare
second
vehicles.
cars. That sticker has to be put on the back window, just like all the permanent residents are. I don't think there'd be much cost involved. They just change the production to a different color, or we order a different color, and it would help. All the residents on finding one that's in violation. Also help Chris out
Yep.
and to determine which ones
Yeah.
are not.
I'm 100%
Great
on
idea.
board. It is a good idea.
Great idea.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something the board has to approve, or you can just go ahead and do it.
Let's put it on
I
the, put
yeah,
it
I
on the
think
agenda.
yeah.
Put it on the agenda, because I think that's a great idea.
Yep.
You have a different color sticker. When you drive down through there, you're
You
not
can
going to
see-
be looking
you
at
got it.
windows and everything else. You're going to be
Right.
looking at the back of the car.
And that takes away from the thing. And
So we
thing,
wouldn't
Right.
have the hanging.
You would not have the
Right,
hanger.
right.
So have a hanger.
Everything would be in the back of the car.
So the only
Great
cars
idea.
that should not have one would be guests.
Great idea. See, there's still great ideas out there.
Kathy?
Okay, we just got the chip shots, and I was very, very upset of what I read for House Committee. Okay, some residents moved the furniture here. That's okay. We have cameras here. Why weren't the people that moved the furniture scolded? I don't think we should use the chip shots as a scolding tool, okay? And it was in very poor taste.
Put your phone on silence, please.
Go ahead, Ben.
Just a reminder to everybody that there are 2 events this weekend for the veterans. We have a Veterans Day ceremony at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Friday at the park, weather permitting, otherwise it will be moved inside here. And Maura has been kind enough afterwards to provide snacks and food and stuff. And on Saturday, there'll be a golf scramble. Everybody's welcome to play. Sign-up sheets are down in the activity room. And there will also be a lunch for anybody that wants to buy a lunch. You don't have to play to have lunch. The money is all going to go towards the continuing efforts of the Veterans Committee to put a permanent monument at the park.
Bob, what time do they figure the lunch is going to be?
The lunch is going to start about 11:30.
11:30, okay.
How about the cost, Bob? Do you have to pay ahead of time? The cost?
No, you don't have to pay ahead of time. Playing golf is $5. The lunch is $10.
Okay.
Okay. Lunch $10 Saturday.
Sausage and peppers. Yeah, with chips and a beverage.
Thank you, Bob.
And then the following weekend will be the first mixed golf scramble.
What day is that? Saturday, 19th.
Yeah, I think it is.
No, it's not a question. I just want to say, the pool room or the room, the bulletin board room, looks absolutely amazing. I just love how you covered the bulletin board and everything, so I don't know who did that, but we just got here last week, and it looks beautiful, so thank you very much.
You're welcome.
One thing I did forget to mention is that we are still receiving donations, and I want to thank everybody that has donated already, but we're open for additional donations anytime and any amount. Thank you.
Hey, Bob, one other thing, just for a clarification, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
On Friday, 1 o'clock at the Veterans Thing,
Yeah.
there's snacks afterward, you say?
Here in the clubhouse,
Okay,
yes.
then Saturday is the golf tournament, but they'll have lunch in here, correct?
No, lunch is going to be under the canopy,
Oh,
just
that's-
like it
okay,
was the last
The
time.
lunch is Saturday.
Saturday, everything's under the canopy.
Okay, thank you.
Friday, the lunch is after the service, and it's here in the main clubhouse.
Should I give an update? Nobody asked about it.
Nobody asked about it. Nobody cares.
How do we sign up for the Saturday luncheon if we're not golfing?
You don't have to sign up for the lunch,
Oh.
just come up
Oh, okay.
and buy a ticket.
But why aren't you golfing? I'm kidding.
We haven't learned how to golf yet. Sign up.
You got stuff?
There's a lot of people that haven't learned how to golf yet. Anything else? Anybody else? Anything at all? Jimmy, there you go.
Wait.
Hang on a minute. Wait for the microphone. I can't hear you. Yes, I can hear you. I know. You two can't.
You know, Martin County's growing. I stayed in a line of cars the other day about 5 o'clock, 5:30. It went almost the whole way to the end of the road where US 1 is. Is there any possibility of putting a gate opener over on that corner of our property where people can get, say, like a garage door opener, come in that way only?
The only thing
Because
is,
usually Cantor is pretty free of traffic until you get down near the stoplight and then trying to turn and go that way.
the only problem with that is with that gate opening, Jimmy, you know, you're stuck out in the road kind of, you know what I mean? You can't really pull in down there because it's so close. You know, you got to worry about the traffic coming down behind you. I mean, not that anybody would run into you down there, but I mean.
I figured somebody smart
Yeah.
enough would click it before they got there.
Yeah.
But I doubt that.
If it opens. We can't click the garage door downstairs here and have it open. Yeah.
So that used to be open to us, and Martin County made us close it for the exact reason that he said, because there is no driveway to go into it. The opening is that small and whatever, and they will not let us use it as a common thoroughfare. Not allowed. There's a reason for everything.
Makes sense.
Even if we make it up.
Strike that from the record.
Anybody else? Anything at all? Oh, my goodness. Okay, let's adjourn the meeting, I guess.
Make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor, aye.